Hello, hello out there. I'm back and I'm here to review Ready to Love Season 4, Episode 2, Mixer and Mingle. And before we start, I wanted to thank the people that have been supporting me as I'm starting this channel. You didn't have to press like for the last episode. I really, really appreciate it. I'm just practicing now and just building up from there. I just enjoy the process here. I'm enjoying learning all of the stuff I have to learn for YouTube. And I just wanted to introduce my name. It's going to be BG Maverick 1984. And I'll get around to explaining what the meaning behind the name is. But for now, we're going to jump into this episode and I'm going to give you a review of what went down. So we start out with the singles meeting up at a house to get to know one another. They come in single file. And again, they kind of recap in the side clips, like in their private sessions, a little bit of their background. So the first ones to come in were Diedrich and Stacy, followed by Bernicia. But I mean, they're just talking, and David, and they're just talking right now. And then we are met with Mr. Troy Boy, who's just, the apple of my eye if you watched the last video. And in his little package here, he's talking about how he loves to travel extensively. Again, sitting in his robe, smoking cigars. Gotta just love him. You can just tell he is ready for love, right? Like, no, you're ready for one of those Fs. You're ready to F, but I'm not gonna say it. But you're not ready for love. We are followed by more singles coming in. It's a single file, and like the next one to catch a lot of eyes was AJ. He was Mr. Dangerous Combination, chocolate, bald, musician, and what was the other one? Chocolate. Watch the last video. He's a dangerous combination. But Stacy, Chris, and Bernicia, Chrysanthemum. Stacy, Chrysanthemum, and Bernicia immediately look his way. Even to the point that Bernicia said she's not she didn't want to have any more kids, but she said for him she would open up the kitchen. I'm like, I mean, listen, after seeing Joel, I was the same way. So I get you, girl. I get you. Okay, so we keep going on with the entrances, and the next notable one that I see here, I'm just pointing out the ones that stuck out to me, was Miss Liz. I love Liz. I love her energy. I love who she is. But this confessional outfit, it's blue ruffles. Stop. Stop. This is ugly. Stop. You're a beautiful woman and your styling is terrible. It is. Maybe that's why you've been single for 17 years. I take it back. You weren't working on yourself. You weren't working on becoming a CEO. Men have just not been coming to you because they see these outfits. Oh, Liz, but you're so cute. And I love. So this was one of the first connections that I saw in the show was Liz and David. And David was the gentleman who was twice divorced and has 4 kids, and who I said needed a lot of healing. But him and Liz connected really well. They sat there and talked about, they both were brought up in the church. They were both in gospel. So he asked her to sing a little tune and then they harmonized together. And it's really, really cute. So I like their connection, but Liz in these confessional outfits, I don't even know what to say. More singles file in after this. And the last one coming was Kyra. I feel like the show always ends with the hot girl. She's always the one that comes in. Last year it was Adriana who came in on The Last Resort. She was the hot young thing. And this time it's Kyra. I mean, well deserved. She's beautiful. And of course Jason swoops right in to talk to her. I'm more like, you're shooting way too high with Miss Kyra, but okay, Jason. All right. Confidence, confidence. So once everyone's there, Tommy Miles, the host, comes out and starts to talk to all the guests and says, Did you guys notice that there's 10 women, 9 men, which we remember from last time? And then from there, he introduces KG Smooth, who I was talking about last time. And the women are like, oh, okay. And, like they're excited about it. Some of the men, I think particularly Ronald, was kind of intimidated. But Ronald, if you're an alpha man, as you say you are, then you want to be intimidated. Just like you do your thing, I do my thing, and the chips will fall as they may. Next, we see Alexis and Jason sitting on a bench talking because they actually know each other. Alexis is Miss Alexis Fly Jones, and Jason is the former basketball player turned teacher who was shooting a shot at Kyra earlier. And what I said about this conversation is Alexis is pouring it on pretty thick. She just had word vomit around him, like, oh, I always wanted to approach you, but I was never looking fly. I bet you never see me this fly. Like, I'm fly now, huh? I'm gonna get your attention. I was like, dude, you're coming off like thirsty. Like, I have a gallon of water here. Like, would you like it? I mean, chill, Alexis. Chill. Calm down. Like, like this is, you're not gonna get, just chill. Slow it down, sister. Slow it down. But and it doesn't seem like he was really interested in her. He just kind of, just being nice, platitudes, just like, okay, I'm just gonna go along with this. But you could tell that he's not really as interested in comparison to when he was talking to Kyra. Next thing I saw was Miss Ida, and I said she was pretty goofy in the casting special. And I was right. I didn't know if they were going to like her or not like her, but she's very awkward. She was talking to Christian about his moisturized ankles, and then to Diedrich, she told him he was giving her Marvin Gaye vibes. And then she had also said that in the confessional that even though her name's Ida, she goes by Vicky because she likes the 80s show Small Wonder, and to this day, her grandmother calls her Vicky. And I'm like, I don't know. Do we need that bit of information? It's just, what production must have asked her a question to pull that out. So like, did we need that? Did we need that information? And then the show follows this train of the awkward people for a little bit with Khalil. He is the teacher who married someone in the UK and got an annulment. And he's just geeky, and which is okay. He's geeky, he's an introvert, and I am team geeky, team introvert. But I also see, and I watch other videos where they say like, well, they're producing a TV show and they want personalities and they want swag. And I'm like, can we kill the word swag? Can we honestly kill it? Because I put that in the comment to another YouTuber. I was like, I don't know what swag is. Swag seems like a superficial version of confidence and charisma, which is more in depth as who you are. But swag is just like, it's bullshit. Like, what? I don't want swag. Swag is very temporary. Like, okay, you're flashy now, but that's not substance, like substantive. So I hate that word. I do not like guys who are swaggy, because I'm like, okay, who are you showing off for? If you have to show it off, then you don't really have the confidence. Like, confidence is when you don't even care. You just do you. So, but getting back to Cleo, it just seemed like he was very intimidated by the situation because he's a regular guy. Like, and I think that happened with another man in the show that I'm going to get to. But Khalil's a regular guy, and I think he got in over his head being on this show because they're looking for a combination of personalities and people who are looking for love. And so when Miss DA Amber was asking questions, he wasn't really answering straight. She said, "What's your flaw in relationships?" He kept saying, "Me, women, me, women." He's like, "You're not listening to the question." She wants you to look internally to what are you putting out there that you're getting that. But he wasn't listening to the question. And then we get a little break from the awkwardness. And my man comes, like they give him a little segment, Mr. Joel from New Orleans. Can we have a moment for how cute this man is? And I know people are comparing him to Peter Gunz. I'm like, how dare you? How dare you? In looks only. And he's finer than Peter Gunz. That's so rude. So rude. So he comes in, his shirt is like buttoned down. I don't know if I'm gonna get through this review, but he's what I'm talking about when it comes to natural charisma, natural confidence. He's not playing it. He doesn't take it off and then put it on, that's just who he is. And so you see him like going around complimenting all the women and just like, I would have eaten it up too. I'd be like, oh, call me baby again. Please call me baby again. One more time. And I'd be like, and one more time after that. Like, he seems so sincere and so like wanting to, like, even if he doesn't find a connection with them, he just wants to make them feel good. Like, that's, like, pump people up. But these can be connections later on. One of the connections that we do see is him and Vernicia. They were sitting on the little love scene. It's just so cute. Like, he's just asking her questions. He's like, you look good. Well, she does. She does look great. She has a 19-year-old. Her oldest child is 19. And she looks really, really good. But like, you just see like they're a little flirting because she's a little bit more introverted. He's a little bit extroverted. So it just it's a cute balance. And I just, that's like the second connection I saw in the show. The first one was Liz and David. And then the second one is Joel and Renisha. I'm like, oh, I want to see them go out on dates. Next up, then the show goes back to the awkwardness. So the other regular Joe is Christian, the mailman. And he's just kind of awkward, like the girls are talking like they want to get to know him. They think he's attractive, but he's just so shy. He's not assertive enough for them. So Stacy started this conversation with Kyra and I think Vernicia were at the table, and they call him over like, hey, Christian, come over here. And he's like, oh, okay. Like, he's just looking around like, what do they want me for? And then they sit down, and I feel like, did Stacy run off? I feel like Stacy ran off, which is, that's just says she's very basketball wise, like, watch out for her. And then Kyra ended up explaining like, oh, the girls, we want to get to know you, but you just kind of coming off as awkward. And it just kind of put him on the spot. So I'm like, okay, he's already probably uncomfortable. And now people are calling out a flaw of his. How do you think that's going to make him feel? Like, he's probably just going to dig himself a grave. So he's already putting himself, some people are already putting him in the brother category, which is like the death nail, for a relationship. So it was just really, really awkward to see. The next one, we're back to Mr. Troy. He was talking to Vernicia about her birthday. So I'm like, oh, we get to go on trips, because he was mentioning in this clip. He loves to go on trips, loves to take women on trips. And so he offered her, he's like, oh, when's your birthday? We can go on a birthday trip. I'm like, wait, like, do you have a lot of frequent flyer miles because you're old or something? You're probably using the company business card, because you seem like that type. Like, you don't really got it. I'm coming for you, Troy. After that, we get this weird conversation between Diedrich and Andrea. And she said today was the day that she left her cat at her mom's house, but her mom called her and let her know that the cat found the doggy door, and so the cat's missing. And so she's really upset, but she knows she has to be here. And I was sitting there thinking, I was like, this conversation is not even a double entendre, girl. This is just, you're literally talking about your cat, like a cat, not your cat. So I was like, you at least could have made this funny, but it was just so depressing and sad. And you could tell Deidre's face, like, her cat's not dead. It's just missing. It's just like, you didn't come with your aim game, Andrea. You didn't come with your, I don't see it for you. I don't see you making it very far at all. Tommy then, goes around and surveys the women, asks them who's their tops. And of course, Joel is at the top. Jason, Diedrich, Troy, for some reason. Women. He put Troy in the top. KG, David, and AJ. And then for the bottom, they put Khalil, Christian, Troy, rightfully so, Ronald, and surprisingly AJ. So Kyra, I don't know how I feel about you bringing up this conversation in front of the other women about you actually knowing AJ. And they went on 2 dates. They said the second date, she said the second date was her worst date ever. They went out for drinks, maybe food. She had her card down. And then she went to the bathroom, the tab came, and she came back and her card was still there and it was charged. And she calls him El Cheapo. Her and her friends laugh about it, call him El Cheapo, because she just thought that was, like, she didn't want to pay for the date. He should have been paying for the date. I don't know if that should have been brought up in front of the other women, because we don't know how long ago that date was. And we don't know if he's changed since then. And it could have been, I mean, it kind of colors the other women's view of him. So you're kind of putting him at a disadvantage, even though I think what he did, I mean, I think men should always pay. This is probably why I'm single, because I just pay for, I'm like, if you're not going to pay for me, I don't, what are you here for? Another video, another day. But I just didn't know, I don't know, that was an outside situation. They knew each other before and they had that bad situation. And she's telling the story to Tommy in front of the other women. So I don't know. I wouldn't have done that at all. Start a clean slate with the show. So after surveying the women, Tommy brings everyone together and they do an elimination. And Khalil, the teacher, is the one that is eliminated. People are like, oh, I was like, none of y'all liked him. Y'all, he was at the top of your bottom list. So, you know, back to the school chalkboards he goes. And then Tommy says there's going to be another elimination tonight. He doesn't specify. He just says there's going to be another elimination tonight. We see some more awkwardness with Christian. And he goes to go get waters for him and Kyra dips out on him. I'm like, poor baby. Poor baby. Then we see Alexis and Troy. And I'm like, she's thirsty. He's pervy. Is this our third possible perfect match? Because she's like, now she said in the casting special that men only see sex from her. And I was like, okay, she has these dual personalities because she's a woman she was the first lady of the church, but now she's divorced. But she says when she talks to men, all this sees sex. And I'm like, but now seeing the conversation with Jason, I'm just like, you are just throwing it out there. So of course, men will be like, okay, she's very forward. Let me just go for it. So I don't know about her. I do not know about him. And then Troy's acting like Pepe Le Pew, try to kiss all the women on his cheek, calling it his signature move. I'm like, okay, serial killers have signature moves. Serial rapists probably have signature moves. So I'm like, I'm gonna put you in that category. I do not like that man. I do not like him at all. Another conversation that we see is between Ida and Jason, and Ida can talk. I have been caught in those conversations where someone is just talking nonstop and I can just be like looking all over. They don't care. They'll just keep talking. And when you try to interject, to add your 2 cents in, they run over it. I mean, the boy ended up just looking up at the moon, howling at the moon while she was talking. I was like, I feel you, Jason. I feel you. Then we come back around to Kyra and AJ sitting down and talking. And, Kyra saying she kind of has a grudge with AJ because of the way their second date happened. And he told her, this is what she didn't say in the first time she talked about it. But then she said, like, she was really mad because he sent her a text saying, like, oh, maybe you should change your traditions. And I just wrote defensive. I was like, okay, like, because she told you to step up and you couldn't. So I think you got defensive in that way. And another thing is, like, if you check your bank accounts before you go out, I am religious about that. I check my bank account. So I don't want to be embarrassed. And this could be a conversation in the chats. Like if somebody stumbles upon this video, should broke people be dating? Does that mean to say, should broke people be dating? It's like Fergie's Glamour says, if you ain't got no money, keep your broke ass home. I just think it's common. I mean, or just plan a picnic, get some cold cuts, get some $2 Walmart wine, and you guys could have had a picnic. But stay within your dating budget and work accordingly, if anything. But going out trying to flash, that's that swag. See, that's that temporary swag that I'm talking about. It's like, okay, but when you got to put your money where your mouth is, literally your money where your mouth is, you ain't got it. That's why swag's bullshit. Anyways, let's see here. We see, another conversation that was had was between Ron and Andrea. This is pretty interesting. So Ron is the one with the 2-3 jobs, my Jamaican brother, and Andrea, who was the flight attendant. And he calls himself a traditionalist. So he wants a woman to stay at home while he works. And in the midst of the conversation, Andrea was very turned off by it. She was like, so you don't think I can work and still raise kids? And he said, it's kind of what he thinks is best for him and the children. And so she was just like, yeah, I think we should go mingle and talk to people we haven't talked to before. So deuces. At this point, I was like, I didn't see anything else interesting to talk about in there. At this point, Tommy surveys the men, asks them who's at their top, and they put Alexis, Amber, Kyra, Bernicia, Chrysanthemum, even though none of them could say her name. Say her name. I cannot sing. I'm one of those Black girls that can't sing. I'm working on it. Okay, Liz and Stacy. And then in their bottom, they have Ida, Tressa, and Andrea. So Tommy brings everyone back together, and he was like, okay, so, talk here, but I have a little surprise. I told you, he said this season's full of surprises. And so he said, instead of eliminating a woman, which we thought, because we already eliminated Khalil, and we thought it was going to be a woman, but it's going to be another man. So immediately, I'm pretty sure Christian's life flashed before his eyes. So Tommy says that Christian and Ronald are in the bottom two, and it ends up being Christian that goes home. And it was pretty sad. I was like, man, he didn't even get a chance. I think, he's another one. I think the two men that were the most regular, probably really looking for some healing and, to get back out there, were eliminated. And I think they were eliminated because they weren't TV ready. They didn't have that TV swag, that TV personality that would have captivated people. And they were probably intimidated by the cameras. I'm only alleging. I'm not sure, but that's would be my best guess, because I would probably get really quiet on a set if I was on a reality show. And it's sad, but I'm sure they'll be fine. I'm sure women are finding them on Instagram, and be finding them from there. I did get a request from Khalil on Instagram after I followed him. So I'm like, should I take this? Should I click? Should I accept his request? We shall see. So Tommy closes out the show saying, like, we're not here to play games, and that their journey begins. So next week, they're going to start going out on dates within Houston, hanging out, getting to really get to know each other. And then next week, the power is going to be in the men's possession. So the women are up for elimination from there. So it should be pretty interesting going forward. I'm looking forward to just continuing watching the season and seeing how things unfold. So I will follow up with episode 3. I'll upload it, try to upload it probably in the next few days or so. Again, just hanging in here, watching other videos to learn how to make videos, and just enjoying this process. I think this is pretty fun. And I will start making like an IG page for my little website to match this website, and just keep fishing, as they say. So until next time, take care of yourself. Bye now.